But as you know, Inga, her definition of photography was very open, I would say. So in many ways, these exhibitions in this venue, but also in other venues, were contesting the limits of photography. And I think even looking from this international point of view, she was one of the first to include this AI context or digital manipulated photographs, videos to photography shows. So it was very progressive also, the fact that she was confronting this art scene, the local art scene, with this other positions or voices or visions from outside world, not only from the West, but from different places, was very important. And I guess for many artists it was fundamental. So for this meeting, I prepared something that we discussed with Inga for quite a while, namely the influence of AI, the impact of AI on contemporary art, but also on photography. So, this kind of seminar-like meetings, I really like this definition of a meeting and a discussion that is not about very much popular things, but you can meet and go through certain things in depth, really focus on some details of, for example, curatorial practice. So this is the presentation that is focusing on AI, but is also somehow telling the story of my involvement in this particular aspect of image production. And I would start with a graph that I have procured some time ago, and this one to the right was showing, outlining history of Polish art photography till 1978, and we did this together with a friend of mine and the collector and the gallerist Łukasz Gorczyca. And of course it's somehow based on the famous graphs or outlines by curators dating back to the Alfred H. Barr famous sketch. And on the left side you can see the updated version, what's happening after 1978. And this was more contested. Now, I'm prepared another version of this after several talks with artists and curators and other people. So it's less obvious what's going on right now. But basically, if you make this connections between names and milieus and certain phenomena, you realize that one of the important things that is developing over time is this connection to post-photography, that's how it's called in Poland, or the post-medium condition of photography, or things that are somehow in between this space of a vernacular internet imagery and contemporary art and contemporary photography. So this is one of the collectors with this updated sketch. And the thing is that you can see that even in this one of the corners of this outline, there's not so much going on. And I realized that the thing is that in this particular area I was not interested that much. This is the part when you have this let's say AI connected phenomena and names, and they are not so much explored, at least by me. I wasn't that much interested in it. It's not that I was very much like a critic of this like Slopocene, like some of the critics are referring to this era of AI overproduction. But basically, I wasn't really like into it in terms of certain expertise. But I decided to go a bit deeper and deeper, also keeping in mind that I teach some classes on contemporary art or contemporary photography or image production, or I run an institution, so you can feel that this AI is it's like out of a sudden everywhere. I mean, you don't hire translators anymore because everything is translated by AI. You don't do the same much amount of graphic design because you can give it to AI and you have it ready. You don't pay anymore to proofreaders or to other people working in the cultural field because they are obsolete in a way. So you realize that the impact is here. And also it somehow is touching the curatorial practice and the artistic practice. So when you teach, I realized that like 3 years ago, I decided not to have MA seminars anymore because you cannot like discuss with students things that I written with ChatGPT or other models that help them to develop the MA works, or they discuss things that they have in their portfolios. You have to follow this to be somehow a partner in a discussion. So there is, of course, this contested idea of what is AI today, and some of the artists and some of people, even in the art field, they are very critical, and it's kind of, I would say, easy way out, saying that I don't care, this is wrong, this is all bad, it's about energy consumption, rare materials consumption, let's destroy this data centers. So I produced this kind of graphic based on the very famous poster for the Luddites movement. Those were the guys, like the first people that realized that industrialization is against the working class, so to speak. Yes, so the more industrialized or developed industry is, the less workforce is needed. So the first thing was to, like the idea of destroying the machines themselves to have the things intact, like in the structural terms, so to speak. Of course, it was the beginning of modernity. So now we can think about this as sort of a utopian movement to stop the progress. Is it possible? But you could feel similar emotion among people who are saying that they are totally against AI. I was thinking about this condition that you have to know more or know something at least to be able to talk to other people, or to put yourself in a certain position, maybe not against this phenomenon or like totally being an enthusiast of this move towards AI. Like many people are also thinking about this in a sort of religious terms almost, but somehow to figure out what's going on. So of course, as a curator, I decided to work on an exhibition that is somehow a research project that is helping me out with finding what's interesting, or how can I use it like more consciously, what kind of tools and what kind of things can be important for my own life and my own practice in the art field. Of course, this is my own voice, but this discussion is going on, and it's of course you can even follow it here at this Biennial for quite a long time. In these editions, it was here, like I said. But basically now you can have the feeling that there is some sort of a change, and it's also concerning photography or the understanding of what photography is. So once you go through these books or theory or history books with photography, there are some moments that are redefining the let's say the state of minds of these producers, of photographers, or people who are somehow using both theory and practice, or theory in practice. So what is interesting is that even the magazines like the Art Forum, which is one of the fundamental magazines for contemporary art, and it's very rare for this magazine. It's a monthly US-based magazine, totally focusing on contemporary art, and out of a sudden you have an issue about photography and the condition of photography with the key curators and artists being invited to tell us what's going on, what's happening, yes? And this is somehow important, I guess, that photography is perceived as this medium, it's the first modern medium in this respect, that you can see how it's changing and how it's adapting very quickly to the changing reality of image production, and then the rest will follow. Yeah? So it's like in the 20s or 30s or in the 19th century, in the Daguerre time. So it's now also this sense that, okay, artists are against this. I mean, if you ask painters what they think about AI, this is like a disaster. But the photographers, they have to adapt, they have to deal with this. Yes? So maybe they will have this knowledge. And I guess they are right, because even when I started to talk to this artist, they were very negative. While photographers, even with some strong opinions, they were at least trying to get into this new thing, which is AI. Some were saying that, I'm doing this for the commercial reasons, but I still do analog things in my art photography. But basically, they were somehow interested in this, like they always were, like in new lens or new cameras. And now it's the new thing is the AI. What is also interesting in this debate, like in the Art Forum debate, is the sort of loss or a sort of like a feeling of like a divide, that for example the Roxana Markoczi and the other curators, like Jeff Wall or this Düsseldorf school, they know that they will not be able to produce these large format prints, that they cannot be even preserved in any way, that they cannot be exhibited, that it's over, that this era is over, and what to do in such a case. And there is an interesting input by Thomas de Man, who started to do the things with metal, with some engraving, some sort of craft stuff in the human scale back again. So this is also what I was talking about with Inga, that she was doing this biennial edition about this coexistence, that it may be somehow interesting to not only to go only in this AI direction, but try to find a way somewhere in between. I'm showing you the books and this as a reference, but basically it makes no sense today even to read the books. These things are changing so fast. So even the top thinkers and top academics, I don't know, Lev Manowicz or Joanna Żylińska, they don't even print these books anymore. They just do them immediately in PDF format, and you're free to take them, because once they start to print and distribute these books, they will be totally obsolete, like overdated. Makes no sense to do this this other way. So this theory is also trying to find its own tempo and to be in line with this technical development, but the sense or the feeling of the changing of the whole definition also photography is immense. So one of the photo books I wanted to show, because I will be focusing on Polish photography. You probably know that we are still like on the margin of this world, right? So here in Central and Eastern Europe, it's back again. I mean, AI in Riga or in Warsaw. Hello, I mean, there is not a single company probably that would be, I mean, even if there are Polish companies like 11 Labs, they are listed in the Western capital markets, and they operate there. Not in this part of the region. So basically, we still have this feeling that we are like missing something. Yes, that we are in this provincial condition back again. That we can only look at things happening somewhere in Paris or in LA or in New York, or maybe, I don't know, in Shanghai this time. But what is interesting also in this debate in Art Forum, that the people from Germany, they have very similar feelings, that they also miss things today. But still, I was thinking that what the artist can do, being like based here in this part of the world, with the tool. And is it possible to use it in such a way that it will be interesting, like, let's say, globally, maybe not, but in a larger format. So I will start with Weronika Gęsicka, who produced a book. It's an encyclopedia. She was collecting entries, fake entries to different encyclopedias, and producing illustrations of these fake entries using artificial intelligence tools. And she was producing them in the format of these artworks in addition of one, which is important because this is how she somehow approached collectors and the art market. And so it's not like infinite open editions, but it's one object out of infinite, generations is this one thing. But at the same time, she published the book, and the book was shortlisted for the Deutsche Börse Photography Prize, which those of you who are in the business, they know. So you know that this is one of these prizes that is important for each and every artist, because even to be shortlisted there, it's like a great achievement, and it's not for the singular photo or for like it's not a lifetime achievement. It's for the show or a work or like a single series. And she was nominated not with the exhibition but with this book. What is interesting is that on the side of the Deutsche Börse Foundation, she's not presented by the photos from this encyclopedia, but rather she's there with her older photo montages. This is the older series of her works that are not AI manipulated, so to speak, or produced. And I guess it's also because she's having a lot of backlash, and she's hated because of the fact that she's showing there in the photographer's gallery AI produced images, and even there are like they do this participatory things that people can comment on the works that are exhibited in in the gallery, and you can read them, these comments, and they are full of negative emotions. Why you do this to photography? This is not photography. This is AI. It shouldn't be here. It's so wrong, you know. Kind of AI shaming, I would say. So they decided to maybe not cover up this fact that this is AI, but somehow change the images on the site. This is really strange. So Gęsicka is one of these Polish artists that are consistently working with them with these tools over the years, but she's also like mixing this AI things with the singular objects and the, you know, I would say traditional photo book. That is the reason why she is in this exhibition in London that is going on now. Personally, I was like working for the first time with the artist who is using AI, and this is Robert Kuśmirowski. We decided to, I mean, I knew that Robert was one of the very first fans in Poland of the Midjourney, so he was experimenting with this and putting those stuff on that he generated on his Facebook profile. But basically this was the show about Lithuanian photography. You know, Lithuania, Poland, you know, a lot of connections, but basically one of the more interesting is the figure of Adam Mickiewicz, or Adomas Mickiewicz, that you can see him on the right side. And, you know, this famous romantic poet from the 19th century, he was expelled by Russians. He was imprisoned by Russians, sent to Siberia, and then expelled, and he had to migrate to Paris and was teaching there. So he was a professor, but basically he was a very sad, you know, sour romantic, missing Poland and Lithuania specifically. So we all know his face as like a grim and sad romantic face of Adam Mickiewicz. And we know this because he was in Paris and there was daguerre, so there are some daguerreotypes of this, one of the first daguerreotypes of the, you know, of the most important poet in Polish history. So so you know his face, but I, as a historian, I never saw this daguerreotype. So of course I wanted to have it on the show because it's fundamental, but it was not possible to take it out and exhibit publicly, only reproductions everywhere. So, you know, talking to the artist, we decided that it makes no sense to show the, like a poor reproduction or another reproduction of the allegedly existent daguerreotype from some like treasury in the National Library. Even though the exhibition was in the National Gallery, and they really would care about the you know, conditions of display of this work, but it was not possible. So we decided to make it in AI, the version of this, and this is the smiling Mickiewicz. Yes? So this was my personal curatorial appeal to the artist. You know, make him smile. You know, finally we'll have this smiling guy. You know, just a bit. So the show was about this idea of Lithuania, also in 19th century, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. And there were very strange figures, like billionaires, we would call them today, who were living in Lithuania. They were Polonized, but they were very keen on photography. So they had their own like studios, you know, like Tyszkiewicz or Kosakowski. It was like a trend among the financial elite and cultural elite, of course. It was the same at that moment, at least in Lithuania. So we decided to make the Kuśmirowski studio as a kind of arrangement of this sort of atelier of a photographer of like a strange non-existent country, which was Polish-Lithuanian, like borderland. And he produced the so-called Lithuanian types, and some of them were original, some of them were AI produced. But the thing was that people didn't realize what is what. I mean, this was my first moment that I thought, wow, this is crazy. That they don't realize that this is gone. I mean, they don't care if this is like the daguerreotype from the National Library, and Kuśmirowski was producing this AI and then changing them into collodion, photographs. So he was using these 19th century techniques, but not daguerreotypes. It would make no sense. Like some other strange techniques that people don't really now know what's the difference between ambrotype or cyanotype or wet collodion, plate, whatever. So this was for me interesting experience that you can have this connection between past and present. You can change it, you can influence it. Even the national institutions are okay with this kind of replacement, and the audience, they don't get the thing. I mean, even though there is a text saying that it's not real, they just go into this thing. So you can have some of this generations, and this is, I guess, also interesting because now it wouldn't be even possible to produce that kind of obscure AI images like 3 years ago. So this is already sort of like an AI nostalgia with the early productions of Midjourney or some of these models. And this is Kuśmirowski himself and Mickiewicz. There was one of the journalists asking the question at the press conference, who's the author of this, a whole situation in the museum? And Kuśmirowski said, it's about Mickiewicz and myself. And so this kind of audacity was on the side of an artist was also very inspiring, I guess, and needed. The other artist that I work with a lot is Nicolas Grospierre, and he was doing also from the very early moment on Midjourney things, and but he was trying to make it to visualize the sole fact of how it works, and how he's thinking about this. So he's producing these light boxes, and another artist is Konrad Kuzyszyn, and he's a colleague of mine from the university, and he was coming back to remake his early works from the 90s. And this was the exhibition that I hosted in my own venue, and it was interesting because he was working with one of the students. He used to be into analog photography, very much traditional photography. And out of a sudden, he started to do the things with AI. And it turned out that the author of this productions was the student, Marcin Kozłowski. And, it was also my student. So he was, and I was the director of the institution that was exhibiting this show of Konrad Kuzyszyn. So we had a debate how he should be included to this exhibition, how he should be mentioned, because he as a student was the one who was making possible this exhibition to happen, and was actually teaching the professor what to do, because he didn't know how to use it. Yes? So it was and of course then later they were producing this as a silver gelatin prints, but they were AI produced. So he was mentioned, but he was not really present in the exhibition space. He even at some point was considering suing the professor or for not mentioning him enough, in the show. I told him that this is interesting because we can do another exhibition, and then I don't need this professor. I can work with you as a student. I mean, you are on the second year or third year, but it's he has the knowledge, not the guys that are supposed to have knowledge. It's also the condition of this progress of the tool, or this digital divide, but between the generations. Yes, so the professor, so to speak, was taking over the student and the student's productions based on his work. So it was like an interesting, situation, so to speak. And so I asked him to make a presentation of what he did to also be able to follow how this artwork was produced or co-produced, like with the student, professor, and the tool, and with the strange circulation of knowledge and ego, mania, or need to be credited, and so on. But basically, I invited Marcin Kozłowski to work on another exhibition, and to be, why not? We don't need to show the professors anymore. It's so boring, and they are using the students anyway, so we can show them and to see what's going on in this field, like for real. So for this exhibition, I was thinking that what makes it kind of important from the human point of view is that we have to, or I have to, conceptualize the whole thing, like using, of course, this theory from Willem Flusser to Trevor Paglan, whatever. The other thing that is missing in the AI field is the history. Yeah? So as an art historian, you can see, you can make those connections between now and 19th century or 20th century avant-garde or neo-avant-garde. So it's kind of getting historical, so a more human way, because otherwise, when you would try to do the outline, historical outline with AI, it's a complete mess. It doesn't care about the history, which is also interesting and it's illuminating, but it's another thing. The humans need somehow this kind of chronology or some order. The other aspect was is relational, so the exhibition as a space of relations, or like connecting people in a way, not only working with the tool. And another aspect was the materialization, or how to make the work material. So you can use older techniques or prints, but basically, do we need to materialize the image or the situation or the relation between me and the tool. So then this context and the locality, and maybe when it comes to a material aspect of experiencing the exhibition, this is something that is important when I think about the AI. So I had the temptation, or I was asked if I would curate a show that I did like 20 years ago and was very well received, and many artists from these exhibitions became very famous or well known. And it was the show about the documentary photography. And I realized that this slot in the gallery I will use on thinking about the show and what happened to documentary photography and photography as such, after AI, so to speak. So this is the exhibition that Marcin Kozłowski was invited to, and some other artists that I will tell you and show you in a moment. So several artists were, the whole archive of the exhibition was approached by us as a data set, I would say, yeah. So the graphic design, the idea, the images, of course, the connections between those names and images and the relations. Yes, it was used to make certain prompts, certain things with different kind of tools. So to give you the example, one of the artists was Zuza Krajewska, and the models were trained just like with Kuzyszyn using these photos, but the production is different. Yes? So ontologically speaking, it's a very different image, even though it has some reflection, and you can feel that this is very much the same image, but it's different. But discussing the thing with this young artist, we decided to have it less AI and also more grainy, so to speak, more analog. So there are different layers of this imagery, and only some of them are digital or AI related, I would say. This is how he's planning to exhibit this. The exhibition will open in 2 weeks, and here I will show you how he was developing this idea with some optical printer and building some matrices and developing prompts and like using different tools to produce this final image. And you don't see it on the screen, but basically it's about the quality of or the structure of the image, I would say. I guess it's similar to this intuition of Robert Kuśmirowski to have his mid-journey generated images in wet collodion, for instance. Yeah, but here it's about the contemporary photography being appropriated and reused for a different, for production of different images, basically. And here this is another artist, also a student, Natalia Kolbiarz. I wanted this show to be somehow controversial or to put certain things that are in the air, but nobody wants to speak about them, like on the table, so we can discuss them. So, for example, we hire graphic designer, but we can, as an institution, we have all the rights to use this. So this is also a data set. If the graphic designer works for like 2 years, you have enough of images to give it to the tool and have it back as your own design. You don't need to hire him anymore. So, but not to be mean or not to be cynical, we decided to, or I decided as a curator, to hire him and pay him his normal fee and also feed the tool with all his images and produce something new based on what he did for us before. Yeah? So it's like his image is in the middle, and the rest are the generations procured for the show. Of course, we chose a bit different poster by him to make it clear for the audience that this is real Jacobo, this is real Jakub Stępień, this is real guy, yes, and the other things are generations. But to tell you frankly, most people, or I think like 95% people wouldn't be able to tell if this is him or, generated images. And of course, for the institutions, also cultural institutions, they don't talk about this openly, but this is also about money-saving things and also how to relate to this simple facts, like I like this guy, he's a fantastic graphic designer, but whenever I ask him to do the same thing, which is the poster or an invitation, I have to wait 2 weeks, 3 weeks, always late, always, something missing in the documents. With the AI, we don't have this issue at all. I mean, so even if sometimes you try to do the thing properly in a human way, the costs are really killing you. So this is the artist. She's also showing her own work about mutations of the actual flowers and generations of, let's say, AI-produced flowers. And this is a photo book, I guess, very beautiful, very simple one, which will be exhibited. And we also, the show is consisting of only several artists. I didn't want to put people who are superstars like Weronika Gęsicka. She had a show like a year ago in Łódź. So there are only new productions and only new things, while the other artists are included in a book, which is like a Q&A, also generated by the AI tools. asking the artists how they use and how they think and what they feel about the AI with the examples of their work. And it's ongoing, and we have then we have also like answers from this documentary photographers or from this artists like Weronika Gęsicka and other artists. So it's like a Q&A book, a sort of manifesto or a statement showing also, you know, like changing the debate. I think this is the point of this, saying that nobody's using this, that's all bad. But you can have a group of very interesting artists, mostly photographers, who are really developing their own ways and means of using AI commercially, but also for art's sake. And we also decided to produce a new diagram, like the outline, showing the very strange, like hallucinatory connections between them and the tools, and different like moments when they collaborate with one another and they recommend each other in a very strange way. Because you can also, once you dig in this field, you realize that many of these people, they work together and they follow each other, they help each other. Sometimes they compete with each other. But this is an already well-structured and developed field. So this is also, and the guy who's doing this asked me if I could mark the cities where they are coming from. And it was, okay, I said, I didn't think about this, but yeah, I did this and I realized that, for example, there is no Kraków, very conservative, or Gdańsk, no more, but there is like a kind of strong Wrocław, and Łódź out of a sudden, Poznań. So it's also, it has some, let's say, geographical component, which is not to be missed. This is the outline of the show. And one of the artists that I wanted to show, another one included to the exhibition is Tytus Szabelski. He's very much into exocapitalism and the books by Polijas and Trilio. And this is the like an object that he's removed from the Kindle reader. And once you remove it, then the image on the surface is frozen. So it looks like an old school photo. But it's the hallucination showing the data centers burning. Yeah? So it's also about this idea that these data centers in exocapitalism, they don't really exist. This is all fake. This is all virtual. And still, like in Hito Steyer's recent book, they are making the planet even hotter. There will be some screens and videos. I'm not going to show you them because we don't have time, but I'll skip to the, I guess, for me, an interesting moment. Because you know that now everybody can do things like this. So it's also, if you can replace a translator, proofreader, you know, graphic designer, well, you can also replace a curator, I guess, so myself included, or like an artist. So I was thinking about this fact that you can actually make a show into a prompt or like a generation in itself. So the title of the show is also generated. Many things are generated. And so these roles and definitions are changing rapidly. And I was thinking about Alfredo Haar, famous work that is celebrated for so many years, and I was thinking that I can make it, you know, I can do somehow, maybe not better but similar. And he's kind of outdated, and he took this Ansel Adams fabulous quote that you know, Adams with his Sierra mountains and these fantastic landscapes, thinking about what it is to make a photograph and not take a photograph. And I was thinking that we can somehow redo this longer version with generation included, that now we don't even have to take it, make it, you just generate this image. And so this was the part about the exhibition that is going on, but this is actually about this art and photography bubble that is very limited. It's important. I'm not like, it is very important to me as a context also. I'm working in this field professionally. But to give you the example how it is changing, I guess it will be better to show you the scale. And this was somehow that made me think, and I'm still thinking even today about what's going on in photography, that it's actually the end of this. I mean, I realized this after going into this Facebook group that was established like in November last year, and now it has like 600,000 participants. And the group is very simple, you know. It's on Polish Facebook. It says, przerabiamy zdjęcia. It's like we will improve we'll change your photos. We will make them live, and we will, you know, repair them, whatever. Yeah, it's like also in the brackets, so it's like a lousy name. But basically, these are the people who are. I don't know who they are, but basically they are anonymous users who are having the access to the tool, like, I don't know, like Nano Banana or Midjourney or new version of the image making, ChatGPT, whatever. And they are given these photos by the amateurs who are uploading them with certain prompts, you would say, like they ask for something, you know, improve this, repair this, make these people come together for me, make it colorful, and so on. And they do this immediately. And you have like thousands of these images per day. I have to tell you that I'm totally getting addicted to this. The thing is that, you know, there are such emotions because most of these prompts are stupid, you know, but like change this to do this, and people are doing this for those, I guess, normal people who don't know how to use chat. I mean, most of people still don't know what is Nano Banana, and but they want to have their photos. You know, they want them better. They want them different, and you know, so it's in Polish, but you can imagine that. You do miracles. Can you change this photo so my father would be with me when I'm wearing this dress during my wedding? You know, okay, you have it. I mean, what a problem. You know, this is it. And then they have like this never-ending, thank you for doing this. This is amazing. You know, some of these sessions are. No, it's for free. There are already some groups that try to make money on this, but the phenomenon, the social phenomenon, I'm not sure how it is in Latvia, is that they don't pay. That there are a group of there are members who are using their tokens, their tools to help other people to improve their images. And I mean, this is crazy, and the scale is also. It's like a mass thing. So here you have like a very simple changes, but out of a sudden you have an access to amateur photographs, of course, you know, like analog photographs that are very badly reproduced, and they are changed into some new photographs that are treated by these people as these photographs, you know, these are the photos that they are investing their emotions. I mean, there are situations, of course, that are very troubling, like a lot of people, I don't know also about Latvian culture, but in Poland, out of a sudden kids, when there's like this fairy that is giving you a gift when you lose your milk teeth, you know, and so they are sending photos to a group which is like 600,000 people of their, you know, like kids sleeping in bedrooms with their names. You know, I mean, the privacy there is non-existent. You know what I mean? Like we talk about this things, and then it's just not working. I mean, it's different logic, but it's moving. You know, you can see that if somebody has passed away, and there is a very direct need to please make them hug again. I want my uncle to hug my aunt, you know, because he just died, you know, and she needs this photo. I mean, it's so moving. It's so like human and emotional that you cannot resist this. And of course, there is a lot of photos that I'm myself, as a historian of photography in Poland, I just don't know what to do with them. It's such a reservoir of photos, and immediately you can see that they have these layers, yes, of the analog, archival, destroyed, lousy photos, and then the generations that follow. Because, like you see in the comments, they post different versions, yes, because there are like these guys who do this for free, but some of them do this, do that. They also somehow compete with each other who will do the better, answer to this, to the question. Like my uncle has died. I would like to have him. This is the photo, yeah, like hug the aunt, and this is like this is it. I mean, but all of these photos are like just mind-blowing in a way. Or like, can I have a photo with a green grass behind my back? Yes, of course, why not? This is so simple now, but why? I mean, what's the point of this photography now? And can I have it nicer? Can I have it, brighter? And at the same time, you can also see how this tool is saving this photography that would be otherwise, it's almost gone. It's not there. What is also interesting that this, it's about the AI, how it's trained, how it's criticized, that it's trained on the statistic, of what population do, of how they look like, and so on. It's a statistical image, but it turns out to be very accurate when it comes to the, the general population. This is something that, now it's my everyday practice of like doing some screenshots and archiving this, because I think it's really, I don't know what to do with this. I mean, in Poland, we had this photographer, Jerzy Lewczyński, who was very much into, he was one of these prophets of vernacular photography. So he was, for example, when he was walking down the street and saw some photo on the street, oh, this is like it was like something holy for him, when he saw some things like being dumped or put in a trash, he was immediately recovering all the files and then making art exhibitions out of this found photos. So he made this manifesto of archaeology of photography, and I guess this is the archaeology, but it's somehow, it's like in reverse, that it works in a different way between this analog and the AI or the digital version, which is photography now. I guess now when you read the comments there, it's obvious that the old good photography is no longer. I mean, the people don't get it. They are also like, these are artworks for me. When somebody, you can feel that maybe somebody's old and he or she is photographing some photo on the wall, but she cannot or he cannot take a proper photo with a phone. Yeah? So we can see that this is the photo on the left. What is sharp is the reflection in the. So they put him, make this sharp, and it cannot. So they are showing that the tool is focusing on the, you can reconstruct the whole home, out of this reflection. But you cannot do the mother because the mother looks like a midget, like this. And then there is whole discussion how to help this person to take a proper photo with the phone. So it's really sometimes like a photography practice in a new way. And these photos, I mean, some of them are funny, and some of them you can feel that you know more, that you would take it in a better way. But then you realize that it's all wrong, that you cannot do this, that you cannot look down at these people. Some of them are having some fun, some of them just died, and their close friends or family members, they want them to, for example, the photo to be changed for the funeral, right? Or for the tombstone. And they do this for them for free. So you have this feeling that, first of all, some photographers just lost their job forever. There will be no more portrait studios with passport photos, with the photography, the wedding photography is changing. I mean, all sorts of photography are disappearing on our eyes. But the new is born, new definition. So somebody died, make him an angel. Why not? And also it's also somehow it's allowing to reread the photography from the past that was also somehow generated like this. I don't know how. But I guess in whole Eastern Europe it worked in a very similar way, right? That these wedding photos were totally fake, I mean artificial, almost painted. And it looks very much the same with the AI. Yeah, so here you have for example, the mother that just died and somebody's asking for a photo like this. So it's also thrilling. I didn't know about all the context of this meeting, so I'm sorry for this. But I guess this is something that also Inga was very much into, this changing of a definition of the photography in a very radical way that is trying to, that we are trying as curators or specialists follow what's going on in the art field, but not only. So I was always having this funny point at of this lectures or these presentations, and I thought that okay, we did Mickiewicz's, why not to do something with Gunnar's Binde? I mean, is this okay that this is the most famous Latvian photography? Maybe he should be somehow, in color, looking at us. But then I thought that maybe color is too much, but direct, gaze would be okay. I mean, for the guys and the Gunnars and for this conductor. So so this is the iconic photo from the Latvian photography. You have it. I'm the Latvian photographer now. So, paldies.